institutions, and most of which also comes from various corporate houses. So perhaps this ruling of the CIC will ensure that there is some transparency in the way these 6 national political parties function and in the way they are funded. Well, moving on now, as the UPA top brass began its coordination committee meeting this evening, the expectations were that some clarity will emerge on the government strategy on the food security bill. But when the meeting ended, Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Kamal Nath security bill, he said that the issue was not discussed in the meeting, a euphemism perhaps to suggest that the government is keeping its options open on the issue. The political parties say that they are in favour of food security for its citizens. They are divided on the means to bring the legislation.
The BJP is ready to play ball as...
Despite many challenges that face the country in the last decade, there have been in fact many challenges that the country has faced. India has been able to make remarkable progress in food grain production. This decade, the country saw both flood as well as a drought-like situation, but UPA government at the centre handled all such situations effectively and took various initiatives which have helped the common man and have also helped in making India self-dependent.
Seems here.
Do you agree with him?
But I would say one thing here. If it is true, there is this conflict, then I will say, Dhoni should have informed the BCCI or the concerned authorities about his position in the company well in advance when he became the captain, because board directly tells the players they should not have any interest of this kind when they are playing for India.
And this happened way back in 2007.
Yes.
Mr. Bedi, do you agree with him?
I slightly differ with Surinder. This is cricket. In cricket, captain is always very important, and you don't have to be a member of some committee or some firm to see your men inside. Jadeja and Suresh Raina, they will come into the team on its own. Every captain will have his say, provided they will obviously say, I want this player or that one. It is up to the selection committee.
But how can you deny, Mr. Bedi, that there is prima facie a case of conflict of interest because Mr. Dhoni will earn in this arrangement 15% of the profit that VP Sports makes from managing these 4 players. Say 3 players, if one of them is not playing for Super Kings, and he is also playing a role in the selection of the...
This is how it is. It is nothing conflict. Why this issue has come now? Because yesterday those people who wanted to see Srinivasan, that he is still there. So they have raised the issue. If it is 2007, it looks illogical. I am not defending Dhoni. I have never met him in my life. So but it looks very illogical on this after general body or executive the working committee meeting where they feel now suddenly this issue has been.
You are questioning the timing, Mr. Bedi, but why, according to you, it is not a prima facie case of conflict of interest? He is gaining by promoting the careers of 4 other players, and he is also deciding whether those 4 players will be a part of the squad or not. He's playing a part in that selection.
If it is proved to get their friends 1 or 2 series played.
But is that fair?
Whether it is unfair or it has happened. There is so many things there which are not fair in this life. But this happened.
No, that is fine. But then all this...
I firmly believe that every cricketer now looks at his future. What is my future after 2 years or 3 years? In spite of the fact they have earned money. Now this is the time to earn money. He is a man who is earning money, and he gets his cricketers in this who are well-known cricketers, and he supports them. And he has not supported RP. I'm not holding anybody for
RP Singh was also supported by Dhoni earlier. Now his form has dropped so much that he can't get it. But he enjoyed the benefits.
This will raise further questions. But he is saying that if RP Singh, his selection for the England tour in October 2011 is perhaps what you are referring to.
Yes,
if he was favored by Mahendra Singh Dhoni, then is it part of fair play?
No. Able to get him out, you have picked up Dhoni, and Dhoni is Srinivasan's man. There is no doubt about it. Srinivasan openly said that I vetoed him when they were wanting to get him out. Nothing is there. The 2007 agreement or company is raised in 2013, and you are talking of conflict of interest. It should have been in the beginning.
Well, once it comes to the notice of people, then you have to investigate.
So that means no. People knew it.
As long as things.
The question really is that if the media could investigate this, could this have been could BCCI be completely oblivious of this? Is it waking up to this only today?
Well, he was playing for and captaining India Siemens team. Chennai Super Kings, everyone knows he lost 11 test matches as captain for India, and still he was retained as captain at the instance of the president of the BCCI, Mr. Srinivasan. Mahinder Amarnath, who raised this issue, was ousted from the selection committee.
Doesn't this appear to be a very cozy arrangement?
Now, the timing, if Mr. Bedi was saying, it's not the question of timing, it's not the question of playing for Chennai Super King. It is a
history by becoming one of the youngest ever to scale the Mount Everest. Asian and the second youngest in the world to have climbed the Mount Everest. He's just 15 years old and 7 months. Well, Prithvi Singh Chahal is 17 years. He's also with us. Also Fateh Singh Barar is 16 years of age. I congratulate you all for achieving this young feat. Let me begin by you, Raghav. You have made history. How difficult was it to be part of a very, very rigorous training schedule, and on top of that, first to get selected in the 7-member group?
It was really difficult. We really had a hard time. It was really exhausting, long hours of training. Even up there we had to walk for a very long time, and it was really difficult. The technical climbing really helped us there.
Darjeeling at the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, and the principal there, Colonel Rana, was a leader at the expeditions. So after the courses, we did cycling in Rajasthan. We did 1,000 kilometers in 9 days, and then we went up to Leh Ladakh for winter acclimatization and high altitude training. There we climbed about 3,000 feet in 4 days.
And especially make our school proud and the country, nation. The tricolor was obviously the more pride thing, and putting it on top of Everest was a wonderful thing.
And how much of your parents, they were part of the support team, weren't they?
Yeah, 3 fathers were with us, and one of our uncles was also there, and some of them are old Sanarians and proud to be one, and they have
never given, and it really kept us going all the time. There it's like you take 3 steps, and because of those 3 steps you say that I took those 3 steps, now I can take 3 more. So that
have tackled the entire episode, the way you've journeyed through miles and miles and made it. Fateh, what was your inspiration?
Inspiration, basically we actually didn't think that we are climbing Everest. We were thinking that it's a normal mountain, and we are strong enough to climb it, and we have the will.
Of some medical reasons that something might happen again. Otherwise I was happy that I came back safely without having a major problem, and that I would be able to climb again.
How long was the entire expedition? When exactly you began your training, and how long a process was it from the training to climbing the Everest and then coming back?
We left at 6th April and we were there for about 2 months. We had a 9-day trek to the base camp. We spent about a week and a half there acclimatization. Then we started our rotations up to Camp 2. And
what's on the agenda next?
I plan to do the 7 summits, which are the 7 highest peaks of the.
Want the 3 of them to be a part of your group, or you want to do it alone this time?
Why not?
Around?
Why not? They should be a part of my group, in fact, because we share a very close.
So whether something like this, which involves so much hard work, so much concentration, so much focus, so much of time and commitment, has an adverse impact on your studies, because some of you are in 10th standard, some in 11th and some in 12th standard, and those are the years when you have to also concentrate on your studies at the same time. So how did you juggle?
We think that if you're doing something like this, then it's better to miss studies and do something extraordinary, because we're not so bright students. We're good enough. I'm around 80% in school, 80% I get in humanities stream. And if I want to do something in life, I'll do it, and I'll achieve that in board exams as well. And if I work hard, why not?
Fateh Singh Barar for joining us on Newsnight. Well, that's all that we have today, but we would be glad to get your feedback. Our Twitter handle is DD Newsnight. Do write into us with your feedback. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, take care. Goodbye.